Monster Squad aired Saturday mornings on NBC from September 11, 1976 to September 3rd, 1977. The Monster Squad featured a sort of comedic superhero team of monsters that do good deeds and fight bad guys in order to make up for the misdeeds of their past. The monster heroes included Dracula, Wolfman, and the Frankenstein's monster. According to the show, Walt, a criminology student who was also a night watchman at a wax museum, built a crime computer that somehow brought to life wax statues of the legendary monsters. In the show, the monsters all seem to have the memories of the real monsters, which leads you to believe that somehow they are the real deal that's been brought back to life. The group travels in a cool-looking monster van. Each monster had a utility belt, like the 60s Batman. Creator Stanley Ralph Ross was one of the main writers from the Adam West Batman TV series, so he brought a lot of that campy fun to the Monster Squad. Julie Newmar, aka the Catwoman, even guest starred as the Ultra Witch on one episode. Frankenstein actor Michael Lane even played on a couple of episodes of Batman as the character Daddy Longlegs in the episodes Caught in the Spider's Den and The Black Widow Strikes Again. Oh, and Ross was also the voice of Gorilla Grodd on the Challenge of the Super Friends.
You puny super friends are no match for us.
And worked to develop the Linda Carter Wonder Woman series of the 70s. Each monster had a CB code name, because CBs were big back then, of course. Walt was Chamber of Horrors, Dracula was Night Flyer, Frank was Green Machine, and the Wolfman was Furball. What else would you expect? All the monsters appear to be modeled after, but carefully different enough to not get into legal trouble with Universal and their movie monster designs. The Frankenstein's monster was goofy, kind of like Herman Munster.
Gonna wipe them out! All of them! To the very last man!
But he went by the name of Frank N. Stein.
Maybe the cows are just on strike.
No, there has to be some utter reason.
Bruce?
But he had bolts on top of his head instead of his neck. He was played by the actor Mike Lane. Mike Lane, or Michael Lane, had played Frankenstein before, once on the movie Frankenstein 1970, which was actually made in 1958, but was set in the future. That movie's Frankenstein looked more like the Mummy than Frankenstein, now, at least from the trailer, and I haven't actually seen the movie. But I don't think they showed Lane's face throughout the movie. Now, Mike Lane also played Frankenstein for the 1966 super funny rock group The Monkees in the episode Monstrous Monkey Mash. In that episode, he kind of had a sort of a Elvis hairdo. Davy Jones, you shouldn't monkey around with a monster. Now, Dracula went by Drack and was played by Henry Pollock II. Pollock had a surprising connection to Batman as well, but it wasn't the 1966 Adam West series. It was as the voice of the Scarecrow, aka Dr. Jonathan Crane, on the Batman the Animated series. Now, he did a lot of voice work for Scooby-Doo shows in the 80s, Yogi Bear, the Smurfs, Fonz and the Happy Days Gang, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. Probably his longest lasting role was that of Jerry Silver on Webster. Now, the Wolfman called the werewolf in the intro.
That also, I have a gun.
That won't stop me.
With silver bullets.
That will stop me.
Went by the name of Bruce W. Wolf. He was played by Buck Cartalian. He was actually on an episode of Batman as well, on the episode Hot Off the Griddle, where he played a Julie Newmar's Catwoman henchman named John, which is ironic because he fought Julie Newmar's villainous character in the Monster Squad. So many ironies here. All dealing with Batman almost. Now, he actually appeared in an episode of The Munsters as well, as a workman in the episode Underground Munster. And he also played an ape on the Planet of the Apes named Julius. He was the ape who was hosing down Charlton Heston. Now, Walt, the only human and leader of the team, was played by Fred Grandy, who went on to have a very successful role as Gopher Smith in Love Boat.
Yeah.
Now Fred is the only one I wasn't able to find any connection to Batman whatsoever. Now besides acting, Fred went on to serve 4 terms in Congress, and he did a stint as a radio talk show host.
Some predictions, so hold on to your Capricorn because here it comes.
Several famous guest stars appeared on the Monster Squad, including Jonathan Harris, aka Mr. Smith from Lost in Space, who played the Astrologer. Edward Andrews played Mayor Golan for 2 episodes. I remember him the most from 2 Twilight Zone episodes he played on U-Drive and Third from the Sun. Frank Cady, aka Sam Drucker from Petticoat Junction and Green Acres, played a farmer who takes a shot at Drack.
You ever seen a bat in these parts before?
Then there was Avery Schreiber, who played the Weatherman. He had the distinct honor to be a regular on the so-called worst TV show in history, My Mother to Car. On the very first episode, Alice Ghostley, aka Esmeralda from Bewitched, played the Queen Bee. Of course, I've already mentioned the great Catwoman Julie Newmar, who played the Ultra Witch. One of her henchmen was played by Richard Bacallian, who played on several episodes of the '66 Batman. He played on 6 episodes of Batman in total. There are so many connections to this show and Batman, it's almost spooky. I'll always remember being disappointed that the Monster Squad only made it 1 season. But I still recall having gotten a Monster Squad board game for my grandmother after the series was no longer airing. Now, to my knowledge, there isn't any connection to the TV series in the 1987 movie Monster Squad, where the monsters there are straight up bad guys. Please subscribe and hit the bell for future notifications. Let me know what you think about the video. Don't forget to check out all my other TV Crazy Man videos on my YouTube TV Crazy Man channel. Thanks for watching. Be careful out there this Halloween. Hopefully the monsters you run into will all be good guys.